Hey yo, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, and on this episode we've got another version of how to lose. In case you're wondering, how to lose on Westfield, I'm going to give you a perfect example. Actually, I have two examples, and we'll start off with this first one with a southwest spawn. And unlucky, I'm in a 3, 5, 7, and two of my tier 10s have spawned down on the bottom, being the Leopard 1 and the JPZ. What you're going to find is that their TD, the 110, did not spawn on the bottom. They spawned up on top. Their 140 spawned on the bottom, at least I believe he did, based on how long it took him to get there, but he shows up on the top. So I think, foreshadowing, you're already probably aware of what's going to happen here. The JPZ heads off to the southeast, as does the Leopard 1. Why? Because people think when you spawn in the bottom, that means I have to go that way. I can't climb up there. I can't get up there. It's not going to help. And off they go. In a 3-5-7, when two of your tier 10s take themselves out of the main fight, you are going to have a very hard time winning, unless something highly unusual happens, like the enemy team does the same thing, and you're able to beat them in the south. That is a sideshow down there in the southeast. That entire eastern side is basically useless for 2/3 of any battle. In fact, rarely does it ever actually win or become the decisive part of the battle on Westfield. Where is the decisive battle? Well, I think you are already looking at it. It's up here in the northwest, in the hills right here. And you might say, well, Guido, it looks like you got a decent force coming up there. We certainly do. It's decent, but watch as this develops and the other team does what you're supposed to do, or what you should do, let's put it that way, if you want to give yourself the maximum chance to win Westfield. My team is doing what you have to do in order to give yourself the minimum chance to win Westfield. Let's look at it. JPZ is still trundling along. He started over here. Leopard is up there. They're playing peekaboo with one red tank. There's a T-44 throwing himself into the mix. And there's two TDs, thin-skinned, sitting on the back edge of this hill, looking to support here and praying that these guys beat this glob up enough that when they come around the corner, finally, these guys are able to clean them up a little bit. Out of the battle, out of the battle. That's 5 tanks, completely and utterly out of the battle. In addition to that, we've decided to throw a Patriot into the town, out of the battle. Let's see how it goes. Actually, was trying to get on that WZ end game, but went after the first guy I was aiming at. Thank goodness the Scorpion and the Tiger both bounced, so they put one Tiger down in town. But holy cow, look at the glob they have. There's my 140 friend. He showed up. The T-95 is the only thing back there that is keeping them from coming up and over that hill, and probably the thought that maybe there's a JPZ back there somewhere, but pretty quickly they're going to learn he's not. Now let's talk about that JPZ for a minute. He's right here. How many squares from where he spawned? Probably 1, 2, 3, 4. If we count from there, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's right here, or he's back here in a hole down, able to take on anyone who is foolish enough to come up and over. But nope, he's down here. I have a conversation with him afterwards. It's not very civil, so I will not show it, where he essentially says something to the effect of, I was spawned on the bottom. It's the only place I could go. I have talked about this multiple times. You've got to take your tank to the most, or the highest percentage position. The highest percentage position is up here. And you just have to accept the fact that you got a crummy spawn, and it's going to take you a while to get there. But that's where his gun is needed. That is where his gun is needed. So I got this WZ here. The 110E4 is pushing in, and we're in big trouble now. And I'm just trying at this point to see if I can't do something to keep them back behind that ridge. But nope, they're not interested. WZ hits me, Object 140 hits me, and I'm in big trouble. Spin around. A little bit unlucky there. Looks like I shot right behind him. I don't use server reticle, so I was obviously not pointing at him when I took that shot like it was shown, and I end up dying right here. Boom, down we go. Now let's take a look at what's going on, because this is kind of interesting. Get this explosion a little bit lower. There we go. If you look at the game right now, we have 3 dead to their none, and that's not good, but it's not unrecoverable. You could come back from this. But if you look at the deployment and the positioning of the tanks, then you can tell right away that it's essentially over, and there's almost no way my team is ever going to come back from this. Why? Because they sent the majority of their forces up to the northwest where the critical main effort is, and they're eating up everything up there. And pretty soon we're going to be down 6 or 7 tanks, and then that big glob is going to go wherever it wants, whenever it wants. Meanwhile, 2 of our 10s are down here futzing around with a couple mediums. 2 of our 10s and another, and these guys are probably shooting across here because they really don't have any shots up here. Why? Because that position never has shots up here unless they're very foolish and they highlight themselves or they come running around the corner. Stupid positioning here, stupid positioning here, not enough up here. That is how you lose Westfield virtually every single time, unless there's some kind of heroics up here in the northwest. Maybe these guys are a little timid and they let us get a couple shots in more than we should. But look at this. None of them are really that hurt, and they're just rolling in, crushing everything in sight. Version 1 of how to lose Westfield. Hey, let's see if we have another example. Second example, I have spawned down in the southwestern portion. This time I'm on the bottom as far as the spawn goes. We're in a 5-10, so top tier. And I'm in a platoon with Natso and his T-54. And we are going to head up to the top, because my discussion with Natso when we start is we have to get up top. That's where the main effort's going to be. We're 2 of the more important guns in the game. We got to head up there. And you'll see that the prototype, the Lorraine, head over to the southeast, and the RHM and Scorpion. Wasn't it an RHM and Scorpion the last time? Are they the same 2 guys? They might be. I don't know. They head over to get on the back edge of one of the more ridiculous places you can go, sitting back here looking for shots across the field. So I'm going to head up here. We've got a decent force up here, and you're going to see that it goes pretty well for us early on. But you'll also see that they have stacked up a lot more tanks up here than we have. Our JT's behind us. The Scorpion RHM are hanging off the back edge of a hill. The CDC, the prototype, and the Lorraine. The Lorraine's a medium, but heading over to the southeast. So we got 4 tanks down there. They see a WZ, and of course they're going to get stopped by the WZ. And there's 1 other tank there. An M41. 2 scouts. So see, it does take me a while to get up here, but now I have my gun in the most important place in the game. So we're going to come in here and initially start making a difference. I actually go right into his mantlet, of course. Smallest mantlet known to man, and that's what I hit. Take him down, take a little HE damage, and now we're going to come around here looking to get in on the WZ or find this guy shooting me. And I don't know what happens. That miss or something. I don't know. Did I hit? I don't know if I bounced him or it doesn't. I didn't get indication, so I'm not really sure what I hit. Maybe the ground. That is an example of one of the problems with having your fidelity on your special effects a little bit lower than maximum. Take a shot from him. Now this was not the best decision I ever made. I'm kind of sandwiched right here, but I was expecting my guys to get in here and start working these dudes over a little more than they were. Holy cow, look at them all. So what's going on down in the southeast? Well, we're still goofing around with 2 scouts. And it looks like there's a patent keeping them honest over there on the bottom edge of the town. But that's what happens on this map when you go over to the east side. You see a guy or 2, they're going to spot you coming across all that open area, and we're all going to sit around on those rocks just hanging out. Waiting. For what? Waiting for this battle to happen. Whoever wins this battle, then that's who wins over in the east as well. So the only way to make that flank, air quotes, mean anything is to get in there and make it mean something. Just because you're on the flank doesn't mean that you're doing something for your team, especially when you've taken 4 of the tanks over there. And a couple of them very important guns we could have definitely used. Meanwhile, look where the JT is. What is he doing? I assume he's attempting to shoot at the 1 M46 patent. If he'd have seen this advantage start to happen and moved up with us and started coming up over the hill and hammering people, we'd have been in really good shape. 257's a little bit foolish. I mean, he comes in there and he just gets absolutely obliterated by these 3 tanks. Couple autoloaders, unlucky for us. Bounce off him. I'm able to get some bounces there. 5041 just going to start shooting. Puts one in him. Another one. Another one. And now he's down to 24 hit points. I'm able to get some more bounces. Good armor on this little tank. Another shot into that guy. But my 257 is about to die, and that's going to be no good for anybody. And the T-30 comes in and just absolutely hammers me from behind. Missed shot, and now it's all over up here. You can see then that the weight of their forces was where it needed to be. And much like the game before it, a couple guys here being useless, this guy being useless. Yeah, they couldn't even beat the Patton. All those guys there, and he's just trolling around on this hill and things. He kills our guy off, and they can't even kill him. And there's four. Finally, they've moved forward, right? All four of these guys have finally moved up on those two little scouts that are sitting there. I mean, the Patton hasn't even been there for how long? I don't know. The rest of their tanks are all up here absolutely hammering us. And this game is basically over. Because so many guns went to the wrong place on Westfield. This is where the battle is. I will say that this needs to be watched. I would not mind if the Bat Chat went down here. And another scout, or at least just the Bat Chat, and just watched it. And let us know when they're coming through here. I don't want every single tank up here, but you do have to have the weight of your guns up here. And when you have people like this JT not follow up when you get an advantage and get on his horse and get up here and help you, all these three right now are thinking in their mind. I'm going to tell you what these three guys are thinking in their mind right now. Number one, I'm a sniper. Number two, I'm a support tank. And number three, my team is bad. They lost the game. I guarantee you, I'm going to guarantee two of these three guys are thinking that exact thing. I will entertain the thought that there is one pretty good player in here and he just didn't do very well today. All right, that's it, guys. Those two great examples of how to lose Westfield. The same thing applies from the other side. This map has not changed meta-wise because it's essentially the same idea. You've got this big brawling area up here where the important battle is. It's high ground. It has Overwatch on both caps, whichever way you need to go, whether pushing into theirs or going back to yours, depending on which one you spawned on. This is a sideshow over here. The only way it's ever effective is if it's a massive push and lightning fast and is able to come up behind. But that means that your undergunned and underpowered northwest force has to hold on, and that almost never happens. That's why these kind of big flanking, sweeping flanking movements, like Lakeville through the valley and several other examples, are near worthless in this game. They can work, but they're the low percentage play. So if your plan is to go with the low percentage play, or you believe the low percentage play is the good plan, I'm telling you, you're wrong. All right, that's it. Two examples on how to lose Westfield. We'll see you.